Welcome back, everyone. Love during lockdown is hard enough, but what happens when you add in divorce, joint custody? These are challenging questions, so you, viewers, turn to the love doctors for some answers. Take a look. Hi, Ches. How are you?
Pretty good. How you doing, Christine?
I'm good. I tell you what, I think people are quarantined out. We have 4 love doctor questions today. I know we're not going to get to all of them, so we'll move the rest to the next week. But I am ready for my friend.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, the first one is, I have joint custody of 2 teenage daughters. So when we first started quarantining, my ex-wife and I laid out parameters, with one being the kids would not see their friends. The past few weeks, however, they've asked to stay full time with her, with the mom. Because, as I found out later, she has basically been letting them do whatever they want to do, Chesley. I can't help but feel like I'm being punished for sticking to the rules. How can I talk to my ex to get back on the same page? That is not cool. What are your thoughts?
That's very, very tough. Obviously, in a situation like that, a parent wants to be maybe better than the other, or make the kids feel more welcome than the other, and you get these battles. I don't see where the mom would probably change that if she's been doing it already and it makes the kids happy. Because typically we want to make our kids happy. We want them to feel comfortable. We want them to be happy. And if she doesn't mind them doing it in her house, then how do you change that? Obviously, a conversation has to be had, but I don't see much of a change taking place. I think the talk has to be with the kids, more so with the other parent.
That's a good point. The kids and her. But I will say, as we learned from one of last week's questions, you know what, Chesley? For her to be like, oh, I want them to be my friends. I want to be cool, mom. Well, guess what? Their actions have repercussions in the health ramifications of them being around. So I can understand how that dad feels. Not just, well, they're disobeying me, or what I wish for their safety, but now it could come back on him. But you're right. I'm kind of seeing like this may be a tough hill to climb, because she sounds like she's been doing this for weeks.
Right.
But I would absolutely, if I were the dad, I would say, we got to talk, and we got to talk as a family.
Right.
Say, you got to put the kibosh on this. And here are the parameters. We got to go back to this. This virus is not over, and I want us all to be safe. And I mean, the only thing I could say is you kind of got to hammer that message, and hopefully that some of it sinks in.
Yeah, it is a tough climb, because he's probably not going to be able to stop her from seeing her children.
No.
They probably have joint custody, that kind of thing. And so what she does in her house is what she does in her house. That's a tough one. That's a really, really tough one.
Chesley, I had a friend, and maybe this is her. No, actually, it's the opposite. Where she felt like they were going to their dad's because he was being lenient, and it's a tricky situation. We've all got to come together and decide don't be selfish. What's best for us? You know, you've always taught me, you having older boys, that you're not going to be their best friend. And hopefully, there'll be a time when it happens, but right now we need to err on the side of caution.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. How about this one?
Uh-oh.
I've been dating this guy who's in the process of getting divorced. They're on fairly friendly terms. She actually knows about me, but you're not going to like this. They still do live together. All right. He's mostly just stayed over at my place, so it wasn't an issue. But once we were told to quarantine, he was forced to stay there with her and the kids. Now, I've seen him a few times, and as we're starting to reopen, but it feels different. Am I being paranoid, or could all that time together have made him fall in love with her again?
So she was dating a guy who has to stay with, he was forced kind of to stay with his ex? Is that what I'm hearing?
I guess he was mostly staying with her at her place before the pandemic.
Right.
Now he's been staying with her and the kids, and I've heard of other families doing this.
Yeah.
But now, as she's spending time with him, quote unquote, she's feeling different. Something's different.
Yeah, that's well, first of all, paranoia until she finds out the truth.
Right.
I mean, because obviously a lot changes, especially as a result of this pandemic. I mean, a lot of self-reflection time, all that kind of thing takes place, whatever. It may not be just the family, it may be something else. But yeah, that's another tough one. Geez, you did say it were going to be tough today.
No.
It deserves, again, a conversation. Obviously, I wouldn't jump to conclusions at all, but talk it out. See where his head is. it could be that she's right, though. After spending time with his family and seeing the value and the importance of it, maybe his mind did change. But she's owed at least that conversation. She's owed.
Absolutely.
He needs to be honest with her and tell her what's going on.
Yes. And I know you and I are both, one of the things I've learned about you, we believe in the value, the sanctity of marriage. We believe in trying as far and as hard as you can until you've really exhausted all efforts. Well, these are unusual times. Again, we can't even draw a reference because we've never lived through these times.
That's right.
So it is very likely that maybe they are or have reconnected. I don't know. Or I will tell you, I did hear about Bruce Willis and Demi Moore. Something happened where Bruce Willis was staying with her and his girls, but he's happily married and has another marriage. But that wife was okay with that. So you do see some of that as well. But they have been divorced a long, long time.
Right.
I'm just thinking now. Whereas this couple, by the way, they're not even divorced. So,
wow. Yeah.
This is this is a tricky one.
That is a tricky one.
Yeah, I think you're right. If you are starting to have feelings, then you owe it to this girlfriend, and you got to be honest.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. God, Chesley, we're out of time, and we had 2 other doozies.
Oh yeah.
Everybody is burning up our our phone lines and our email. We want to help.
Only 2 doozies per segment. That's all we can take.
It's my heart. All right, Jess, thank you so much. I will see you next week, and we'll tackle these.
All right, we'll do it.
All right, thank you so much. By the way, guys, if you have a question for the Love Doctors, please send it to us. All you have to do is send an email to guest@atlantaandcompany.com for us to feature you right here each and every week on the show. We keep them anonymous, so don't you worry about that. And good luck to both of those families. I know it's so tough.